Imagine a switch in your brain that, when flipped, makes time disappear, distractions vanish, and your productivity soar to unprecedented levels. This isn't a sci-fi fantasy. It's the flow state. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a personalized blueprint to access it whenever you need. Prepare to learn the neurological triggers and environmental cues that turn everyday tasks into peak performance experiences. We've all heard about flow. It's that magical state where you re so absorbed in what you're redoing that the world around you just melts away. Athletes call it being in the zone. Artists and musicians lose themselves in their craft. But what if I told you that flow isn't some mystical, random occurrence reserved for the elite? What if it's a state you can intentionally create, a skill you can learn and master? That's what we're diving into today, the science of flow, and how you can engineer it into your own life. First, let's deconstruct the myth. Flow isn't magic. It's neurochemistry. When you're in flow, your brain is flooded with a powerful cocktail of performance-enhancing neurochemicals. We're talking about norepinephrine and dopamine, which heighten focus and engagement. Anandamide, the bliss molecule, which boosts creativity and lateral thinking. And endorphins, which relieve pain and create a sense of euphoria. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for self-criticism and doubt, quiets down. This is called transient hypofrontality. It literally turns off your inner critic, allowing you to take risks and perform without fear of failure. So, when you feel that effortless momentum, it's not a fluke. It's your brain operating at its absolute peak. You've probably already glimpsed this state. Think back to a time you were completely engrossed in something. Maybe it was a video game, a challenging project at work, or even a deep conversation. Time seemed to warp. Your skills felt perfectly matched to the challenge, and you felt amazing afterward. Those are the subtle clues. Those moments weren't accidents. They happened because certain conditions were met, and understanding those conditions is the first step toward replicating them on demand. The immediate benefit here is huge. Imagine turning a task you dread, like cleaning your house or writing a long report, into an engaging and even enjoyable challenge. That's the power we're looking to unlock. So how do we build this blueprint? It all starts with the 4 core triggers of flow. These are the universal prerequisites for entering that peak performance state. The first trigger is having a clear goal. You need to know exactly what you're trying to achieve, moment by moment. If your goal is too vague, like write a blog post, your brain doesn't know where to focus. Break it down. A better goal would be, write the 300-word introduction for the blog post about flow states. This clarity eliminates distraction and tells your brain precisely what to do next. The second trigger is immediate feedback. Your brain needs to know if what you're doing is working. In a video game, you get instant feedback. You hit the target, you gain points. In real life, you have to build your own feedback loops. If you're writing, reading the sentence aloud immediately tells you if it sounds right. If you're coding, running the code tells you if it works. This constant stream of information keeps you engaged and allows you to adjust your approach in real time, preventing your mind from wandering. The third, and perhaps most crucial trigger, is the challenge-to skill ratio. This is the sweet spot. The task needs to be challenging enough to hold your attention, but not so difficult that it causes anxiety or frustration. If it's too easy, you get bored. If it's too hard, you get stressed. The sweet spot for triggering flow is when the challenge is about 4% greater than your current skill level. This 4% rule pushes you just beyond your comfort zone, forcing you to stretch your abilities and stay fully engaged. Think of it like a weightlifter adding just a little more weight to the bar each week. It's that slight increase in difficulty that stimulates growth and deep focus. And the fourth trigger is an environment of deep concentration. This is the most straightforward but often the hardest to implement. You have to eliminate distractions. That means putting your phone on silent and in another room. Closing unnecessary tabs on your computer. Using noise-canceling headphones. Letting your family or colleagues know you need a block of uninterrupted time. You can achieve a state of deep focus if you constantly being pulled out of it by notifications and interruptions. Creating a flow sanctuary is non-negotiable. Now that we have the triggers, let's talk about building your personal blueprint. This isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. you need to become a scientist of your own performance. Start by picking one important task you want to apply this to. Let's say it's studying for an exam. First, set your clear goal. Don't just say, study for the exam. Instead, say, I will master Chapter 3, specifically the section on cellular respiration, in the next 90 minutes. See how specific that is? Second, build your feedback loops. How will you know if you're mastering it? You could create flashcards and test yourself every 15 minutes. Or try to explain the concept out loud to an imaginary student. If you can explain it simply, you've learned it. That's your feedback. Third, manage the challenge-skill ratio. If Chapter 3 is too easy, maybe try to connect its concepts to Chapter 4 to increase the difficulty. If it's overwhelmingly hard, break it down even further. Start by just defining the key terms before trying to understand the whole process. Adjust the difficulty until it feels just right, stretching you, but not breaking you. Fourth, create your sanctuary. Find a quiet spot. Use an app to block distracting websites. Set a timer for 90 minutes and commit to not checking your phone until it goes off. This 90-minute block is what neuroscientists call an ultradian cycle, a natural rhythm of our body's energy. Working in these focus sprints, followed by a short break, is incredibly effective. Now, let's bring it all together into a daily practice. Don't try to be in flow all day. That's a recipe for burnout. Aim for 1 or 2 90-minute flow blocks per day, focused on your most important tasks. This is where you'll see the most significant growth. Start by identifying your chronotype. Are you a morning lark or a night owl? Schedule your flow blocks during your biological peak time, when you naturally have the most energy and focus. For many people, that's in the morning, before the day's distractions pile up. Create a pre-flow ritual. It's just like a basketball player bouncing the ball before a free throw. A ritual can signal to your brain that it's time to focus. It could be something simple, making a specific cup of tea, listening to a particular song, or doing 5 minutes of deep breathing exercises. This ritual acts as a psychological trigger, easing your transition into the state of deep concentration. And what about after your flow session? The recovery phase is just as important as the focus phase. Flow is neurologically demanding. You need to let your brain rest and recharge. Go for a walk, meditate, or just sit quietly for 15 to 20 minutes. This allows your brain to consolidate what you've learned and replenishes the neurochemicals you used up. Skipping this step can lead to exhaustion and make it harder to access flow the next day. Let's quickly recap your personal flow blueprint. 1. Choose your most important task for the day. 2. Schedule a 90-minute distraction-free block during your peak energy time. 3. Perform your pre-flow ritual to get your mind ready. 4. During the block, apply the 4 triggers. Set a super clear goal. Create immediate feedback loops. Dial in the challenge-to-skill ratio to that 4% sweet spot. 5. After the 90 minutes, deliberately recover. Take a real break. By following this blueprint, you're not just hoping for flow to happen. You're actively engineering it. You're turning a passive experience into an active skill. You're transforming mundane tasks into opportunities for deep engagement and effortless productivity. This is how you fuel consistent daily growth. You stop being a victim of distraction and start becoming the architect of your own focus. This process takes practice. You won't be perfect on your first try. Some days will be better than others. But by consistently applying these principles, you will find it easier and easier to drop into that incredible state of peak performance whenever you need it most. You'll get more done in less time, and you'll actually enjoy the process. So, your challenge for this week is this. Pick one task and try to engineer a single 90-minute flow session. See how it feels. Notice the difference it makes. The journey to mastering your focus begins with that single, intentional step. Thanks for watching today. If you found this guide helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on mastering your mind and maximizing your potential. Let me know in the comments what task you are going to use to practice your first flow session. I'd love to hear about it. See you in the next video, and don't forget to fuel up daily.